Around the world, women of faith play critical roles in identifying and addressing problems in their communities, and particularly problems related to societal violence. Domestic violence, early childhood marriage, and female genital mutilation persist, and in recent years, efforts to address these issues have led to organized pushback. At the 70th UN Commission on the Status of Women, Religions for Peace collaborated with UNICEF and United Women in Faith to facilitate discussions on the critical roles women of faith play as architects of change within their communities. The events were made possible through the generous support of the Gates Foundation and the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation.
Transformation is in the being and doing. As human beings, when we practice our faith, we're encouraged to both embody the principles of our faith, but also then put those principles into practice. And I think in that is where we find transformation and the capacity for every individual to be able to transform the lives of those around them.
Faith actors need to highlight the importance of transformative action and the fact that it's slow. I think it would be naive to think that we can have quick fixes.
However, progress in reducing societal violence is increasingly being met by organized pushback. Some are using strategic narratives to rebrand harmful practices as essential cultural identities to evade legal and social reform.
Is becoming much more organized. It's becoming more strategic. So we see that there is partnership as an organization on that side, and it's very important that we have it on our side too. We see how communities themselves are using evasion tactics to try and continue the practice. It goes to show that partnerships is really important. We also know that religious leaders are faith leaders, and women in faith are on both sides of the aisle. Faith leaders are not a homogeneous group. So what is very important is that we seek out partnerships, we seek out allies.
Dialogues like these discussions at CSW 70 are critical in addressing the pushback. Women are uniquely positioned to be the most effective agents in addressing societal violence, just as women are the primary reference points for community stability and moral guidance.
When you look at women as the first teachers, you look at women as the first disciplinarians, you look at women as the first friends, you look at women as the first moral compass. From my experience with Interreligious Council of Kenya, working with women of faith, seeing women as the first has made it very possible for Interreligious Council of Kenya and the women to become change makers in the society.
Women of faith do not only hold moral authority in their communities, they hold moral proximity to the realities people live every day. And that proximity is what allows them to transform values into action.
The leadership of women of faith entails centering the voices of the vulnerable in the most prominent sacred spaces. Through their leadership, real progress against societal violence is being achieved.
Too often, our communities have remained silent in the face of someone's being victimized. And it happens in so many places and in so many ways. It's the mother who says, don't tell. It's the parent who says, nobody knows what happens behind closed doors. It's what will the neighbors think? If somebody finds out this happened, it's going to destroy your chance of marriage. It'll destroy your opportunity in the future. There's so much silence. There's so much shame. And women have borne this isolated, without help, without guidance, without community. And I honestly do believe that is starting to shift. It really is. When I look around the world today and I see advocacy groups, women helping women, women lifting up women, women talking about the things that we never spoke about. I mean, I remember sitting at the dinner table and my mother would say something happened to the neighbor. I want to see and hear these conversations centering the voices of women and children who are victims on their pathway, their journeys to survivor and thriver.
In addition to fighting to reduce societal violence, women of faith are engaged in their communities, building social cohesion and promoting planetary stewardship.
Mainly, at the community, women of faith actively work to prevent domestic and communal violence, challenge harmful cultural practices, protect vulnerable women and children, provide social support and community mediation, promote peace and dialogue across differences. So many examples for harmonious religious harmony in Indonesia, or harmonious coexistence in Indonesia, like non-Muslim neighbors extending Ramadan food packages to Muslim families, and also Muslim communities assisting security during Christmas celebrations, etc. So we used to have this cooperation in society.
On today is Jane Goodall. Most of you know her, but maybe the one thing you don't know about her is the fact that one of her very last public engagement took place in New York in September of last year, 2025. She spoke most with power about the divorce between humanity and nature. The divorce between humanity and nature through engagement of technology. And in her words, and what speaks to us when we consider the notion of shared sacred flourishing, is to re-engage and reclaim the unity and even the marriage of humanity and nature. With that, I wanted to call on her as an example of leadership, reconciling, unifying, and uplifting the sacredness of nature, the sacredness of humanity, and the sacredness of our shared vision and our shared vocation.
Increasingly, in communities large and small, women of faith are the guardians of dignity in a world where women and girls often carry the greatest burdens and suffer the greatest, particularly due to conflict and societal breakdown.
Our partners at Religion for Peace and us, the Conrad N. Hilton Foundation, has long understood the wisdom of supporting the leadership of Catholic sisters, just like all women. Our founder, Conrad N. Hilton, was a man of deep faith in God, which permeated his life and entrepreneurial activities. He held special praise in his heart for the Catholic sisters, for they had profoundly impacted his life. You may not know, Catholic sisters are among most trusted, committed, and deeply embedded figures in the margins of their communities. With over 700,000 members worldwide, this vibrant network around the world continue to promote dignity and hope for children, youth, and families. Their moral authority and strong connections to communities experiencing disadvantage enable them to engage in constructive dialogue and foster trust from local community members and other religious leaders. Today, as we celebrate women of faith who persistently continue to contribute, building bridges and creating pathways for transformative change in society, we are here because we believe there is work that remains to be done within our faith communities, across government and within society at large, breaking cultural barriers to recognize, appreciate, promote, and engage women.
To increase recognition and visibility of the contributions of women of faith, Religions for Peace launched the Women of Excellence in Multi-Religious Action Award. The award raises awareness of the significant efforts women of faith are making towards addressing social challenges and societal violence.
This event will also highlight the recipients of this year's Religions for Peace Women of Excellence Award in Multi-Religious Action, which recognizes women of faith who are the backbone of faith communities and religious institutions.
It is a great honor to be here with you all today as a member of the Women of Excellence in Multi-Religious Action Award Selection Committee. It was such a hard job. And the selection committee carefully reflected on their work and especially their deep engagement with local communities, their ability to build bridges across faith, and their creativity and their contribution and their strengthening the interfaith understanding and social cohesion. We gathered at the UNICEF House to recognize and celebrate this year's awardees. We have Madame Sise Hazza Mariamaso today here. And then we have the second grandmother, Raking Tardif, and Miss Nagiba Hassan Tagula. So we have 3 recipients this year.
Ce prix vient rappeler au monde que la foi, dans toute sa diversité, peut être un puissant levier d'unité, de cohésion sociale et de paix durable.
I've known Madame Sao for quite some time now, more than 10 years. She's been an inspiration for all of us. Her work in Guinea is really quite a testament of what women of faith can do. She has fostered not just the Muslim women in Guinea, but also the interfaith movement, bringing together all the religious leaders and also creating a bridge between the religious leaders and the government of Guinea. And really, we appreciate your service. We thank you for your service, and we hope that God will continue to give you life, give you strength, so that you can continue serving the women in Guinea, the women across Africa, and the women globally. With your words and with your actions. So thank you so very much.
Que sans la femme, il n'y a pas de joie. Sans la femme, il n'y a pas de développement. Donc sans la femme, la vie n'existe pas. Et je défends les intérêts de la femme et de la jeune fille. Donc je dis encore merci à Dieu pour tout ça.
Our faith should not divide us, but it should be able to bring those differences, but uniqueness of supporting the communities. Ultimately, everyone wants to live a better life. Everyone dreams where they can thrive. Everyone wants where they can have resources and be able to care for their families, regardless of your faith background. And Religion for Peace does that work in those local communities, bringing different religions together